Do you like anime? Have you always wanted to romance the hot anime boys? Have you always dreamed of being the protagonist of a romance novel? With Otome games, you can! But first things first, hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am Sammy, aka Otome Addicted. Today I wanted to talk to you about Otome games. Shocker, huh? So, what is an Otome game? Otome games are romance visual novels in which the main theme is to develop a romantic relationship between the female protagonist and the male characters. It is not so simple though. Every Otome game has its own plot. With Otome games, you will be catapulted into new worlds in which you are the main protagonist. There is a game for everyone, with various themes that go from mystery to historical to comedies and even fantasy. I'm here to list the Otome games that are out right now for the Nintendo Switch. As a young police officer, you must save a city under siege. A terrorist organization's brutal attack has left you fitted with a deadly souvenir, a poisonous collar that could end your life at any moment. With time running out, 5 strangers offer their help. But which of them can you trust? Will you be able to save your own neck and the lives of those around you, or will this case end in a disaster? If you're just starting out, CollarxMalice is the perfect introduction to the genre. It's fast-paced and full of interesting characters. If you like solving cases, please give this a try. The romance is great, and if you're left wanting more, this game has a fan disc with more spicy content. To complete, it should take about 40 to 50 hours. In the heart of Los York, a glitzy trendsetting metropolis that sits in the cutting edge of culture and couture, Wandering Marriage Agency stands apart from the rest in success rate and in style. The Cupid Corporation. As Cupid Corp's top bridal advisor, our heroine consults the city's most in vogue singles to make their wildest romantic dreams come true. But she has one secret which she can never share. Her true identity is Cupid, a descendant from Celestia sent here on a heavenly mission. Only this time, our heroine has been tasked with the biggest challenge yet, handling the matching, and thus the fates, of the infamous Parasite 5. After a series of unimpressive interviews and workshops, they concoct the perfect plan. Parasite House, a shared home created for reality TV centered around the lives of the Parasite 5 and their romantic exploits. Leading this hopeless man to marital bliss proves to be a Herculean task even for the great Cupid herself. Can she live up to her name and keep her identity secret at the same time? Find out in the most divinely unpredictable romance comedy of the millennium. Cupid Parasite is a game that every Otome gamer should experience at least once in their lives. You won't stop laughing at the absurdities happening here. If you like romantic comedies, you should give this one a try. To complete, it should take about 50 to 60 hours. The art style is beautiful, and the colors are so bright that it just makes you happy. Piofiore Fated Memories follows Liliana Dornato, who was born and raised in the church in the center of the Italian town of Burlone. 3 criminal organizations control parts of the city, and Lily discovers that she is the center of the deadly turf wars. Her encounters with the leaders of the Falzone, Visconti, and Lausciu families lead to danger and distraction. Drawn into the shadowy world of organized crime, she realizes there is no going back. I would recommend this game to someone who is already familiar with the genre. Piofiore can be pretty descriptive and at times even slow-paced. This is one of my favorite games, and if you like suspense and thrills, it might become yours too. Piofiore is definitely romance heavy, and at times, there's even a little bit of spice thrown in it. To complete it, it should take about 50 to 60 hours. In Var Commons, child prodigy Sorata finds himself led back in time to a mysterious ship with 3 young women and 8 other men, on an adventure to uncover the secrets that lie in Norn. Norn is another title that I'm playing these days, and after playing only 2 routes, I can say it's quickly becoming one of my favorites. It's packed with adventure and romance, and the art is truly beautiful. To complete, it should take about 50 to 60 hours. When Kotone inherits her grandfather's Tokyo Cafe, she discovers the shop holds more secrets than anyone could imagine. The cafe is a meeting spot for beings from multiple mystical worlds. You'll meet the king of demons, a humanoid beast, a fallen angel, and more. And when government agents monitoring non-human activities show up at your door, your new cafe is about to become a lot more colorful. This is another one of my favorite games that I will cherish for forever. Don't let the cutesy and wholesome vibes fool you though. This game can be brutal, and often deals with heavy themes, so prepare a box of tissues beforehand. This takes about 50 to 60 hours to complete. There are 2 kinds of people, the rulers and the ruled. The heights are a gorgeous utopia, the dead's a filthy industrial wasteland. Our heroine, raised in the heights, has nothing but contempt for those below. Now an observation mission requires her to descend into the world, and the gears of fate have begun to turn. Another steampunk title that is worth playing. The more you play and the more you want justice to be served. This game is entertaining until the very end, and to complete it, it'll take about 50 to 60 hours. The story begins with the main character, Cardia, isolated and alone in a mansion on the outskirts of a 19th century steampunk version of London. A victim of a mysterious affliction that makes her blood a virulent poison and her touch instantly lethal, Cardia is shunned as a monster. Through a number of events both grand and seemingly insignificant, Cardia is pursued by the Royal Guard, kidnapped by the gentleman thief Arsène Lupin, and joined by myriad other handsome figures out of the best of Western literature. With her newfound friends and suitors, Cardia ventures out in the world to unravel the mysteries surrounding her very existence. This is the first Otome game that I've played on a console, so it'll always hold a special place in my heart. That's why I might be a little biased, but Code Realize is truly one of the classics that everyone should try out. The steampunk art doesn't disappoint, and the stories truly has it all. Laughter, mystery, romance, and sometimes tears will be spilled. It takes about 50 to 60 hours to complete, but if you want way more content, there are 2 fan discs available. During the Sengoku period, the 2 main factions of ninja clans Iga and Koga warred against each other for decades. In the year 1593, Nobunaga Oda started the Tensho-Iga War, decimating most of the Iga ninjas in the process. The very few that survived were absorbed in the Koga clan, despite their past rivalries. After 17 years, the Sengoku period finally came to an end, and Japan was unified. Into the protagonist, daughter of Kando Ueno, the head of the Koga clan, spends her days training diligently in hope of becoming a full-fledged ninja like her peers. At long last, she is assigned to her first mission, but finds herself caught in a dark conspiracy. For history enjoyers, this will be a great title to play. I enjoyed Nightshade and its beautiful art a lot, but I did find it a little repetitive at times, so I will recommend this title for more experienced Otome gamers. To complete, it'll take about 30 to 40 hours. Once upon a time, in a topsy-turvy world. In the beginning, you find yourself lost within a world of utter darkness. Your memories are gone, even your name is a mystery. But just when the bitter loneliness threatens to break your spirit, you meet Alice, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed young man who promptly christens you Arisu. Like you, Alice cannot remember anything beyond his own name. Ignoring his protests, you drag him along with you through the darkness, until you happen upon a massive mirror made of crystal. You stumble through the glass and into the Looking Glass world, an antiquated fairy tale dreamscape that feels oddly familiar. There, amid a colorful cast of gender-swapped fairy tale characters, you take on the role of the heroine and join them in their twisted tales. How will the story end? It's up to you. TaishoxAlice is an absolute must-play. Lovers are never ending, but the drama is real. This game contains very dark themes that may make you uncomfortable, so always check trigger warnings before playing. If you're fine with all of that, you must play this gem. It takes about 30 to 40 hours to complete, and a fan disc is available for now only on Steam. Arrive in Yusig, a beautiful fictional town. Step into the shoes of Ryuta, a strong, smart, and gifted journalist, in this romantic adventure set in America. After witnessing the murder of crooked lawyer Limbo, Ryuta is destined to save him, with the ability to leap into the past for a very brief moment and take on the body of another. You must find clues, search for data, and help those around you. Thus, our journey begins. Travel to the past to warn Limbo of his fate and figure how to save him. Bustafellows is a thrilling title full of surprises. I finished this game in 2 weeks because I just needed to know all of its secrets. I was satisfied with the ending, and I must admit I hadn't seen it coming at all. To complete it takes about 40 to 50 hours. Her entire clan wiped out years ago, Olympia has been isolated for much of her life. Now she must travel to Tengu Island, the only person who can perform a ritual that will restore the sun to a land enveloped in darkness. The heads of each district there, red, blue, and yellow, lead a society governed by rigid class structures. Able to travel between the districts, Olympia discovers their wonders and their weaknesses. She also finds an entire underground group of shunned colorless individuals who she becomes determined to help. If she can find a mate who will help her continue her lineage and save the world before it is destroyed, she will reveal to that special someone her heart and her true name. This is a true work of art. Not necessarily for the plot, but for the art itself. I loved playing Olympia Soireé because its world was so pretty. The game is not for everyone though, because it deals with lots of themes that may make people uncomfortable. So always check trigger warnings before playing. To complete it, it takes about 50 to 60 hours. This is a romance game where you become the first female soldier in the Shinsegumi, fight alongside the other soldiers and fall in love, experience historical battles alongside the likes of Kondo, Hijikata, and Okita. Another historical game about the Shinsegumi? I am sold. Well, I haven't personally played it, but I know that it's an older game revamped for the Nintendo Switch. Could it be better than Hakuoki? Ever since she could remember, Shino Akitsu has had the ability to see what others could not. Spirits, apparitions, and indescribable creatures. As an adult, this talent leads her to join a secret government agency, the Occult Action Department. Her assignment is with the Sick Special Preventions Office, and her job is to monitor the powerful beings who travel between her world and the worlds beyond. From her office in Sakuratani, a town in a different dimension, Agent Akitsu meets several otherworldly individuals with vastly different personalities and abilities, a nine-tailed fox spirit, a mischievous Oni, and more. Part gatekeeper, part travel guide, she does her best to get to know these entities and keep them from getting into interdimensional trouble. If you're not in the mood for the dose of pain that Otome games usually provide, but want something lighter instead, then Dairoku is what you're looking for. The vibe of the game is so relaxing that I often find myself replaying some scenes. The secondary characters truly shine in this one. To complete it, it takes about 40 to 50 hours. A member of a prestigious family and heir to a fortune, Hibari learns that her eccentric grandfather is determined to find her a husband. He arranges to house her in a luxurious villa along with 4 handsome hand-picked bachelors and her private butler. As the suitors try to win her hand by any means necessary, Hibari endures endless everyday trials and temptations. Has her grandpa chosen poorly, or could there be more to these fellows than meet the eyes? Through all of this, Hibari has 2 important goals. Frighten off each of these marriage candidates and absolutely refuse to fall in love. Variable Barricade is another romance comedy. If you enjoy longer common roots, this is the perfect game for you. The MC is a tsundere, so it's fun to see how she reacts to finding love. To finish it, it should take about 50 to 60 hours. Although born the daughter of a nobleman, Anastasia suffers physical and spiritual violence at the hands of her stepmother day in and day out. The joy she had found at suffering's end is ultimately robbed from her by someone she trusts. As she burns at the stake, Anastasia obtains the grotesque Fatal Rewind ability. This time, I will transform into the ideal version of myself. With this oath branded in her heart, Anastasia begins her life anew, but this resolve will only lead to further misfortune. The curtain rises on the carnival, and this witch trial shall herald the end. Even if Tempest is one of the best, the story is amazing, and even if the romance is on the lighter side, the whole plot is so good that you cannot miss out on this title. It takes about 30 to 40 hours to complete. After the Heiji Rebellion, the Heike clan has reached the height of its power, while the Genji clan remains devastated by defeat. Hidden in the mountains of Kurama lives Shanao, the youngest surviving heir to the Genji name. However, Shanao harbors a deep secret known by very few. The youngest heir to the Genji name is no man. Torn between her duty to live up to the Genji family name and her desire to live a peaceful life, Shanao sets off to take down the Heike stronghold and finally bring peace in the country. Can she forge her own path and find someone worthy to stand by her side? Birushana is another historical title. I enjoyed it a whole lot. It's packed with actions and mystery, and there's even some fantasy elements to spice it up. It should take about 50 to 60 hours to complete. 500 years in the future, the world as we know it has become uninhabitable. The remaining humans live in colonies, artificial environments surrounded by looming walls and a simulated sky. But rumor has it, if you're out past curfew, you may cross paths with a deadly monster. High schooler Yuki is as average as they come. She enjoys a mountain life of school, friendships, and generally being uninterested in boys, until one day she finds herself outside after curfew and face to face with a horrific monster known as a Vector. Just as all seems lost, Yuki is saved by 4 female superheroes, and is invited to join their cause and protect the colony from the Vector threat. But there's more to these girls than meets the eye. Join Yuki on her journey to uncover the mysteries of the Vectors, her newfound powers, and why so many boys are suddenly talking to her at school. If you like magical girls, this might just be the game for you. I haven't finished this one, but playing the common route was really fun. I really need to continue it. To complete, it should take about 40 to 50 hours. Tokyo, 1918. Yuriko no Miya, born and raised comfortably in an aristocratic family, is suddenly struck by a series of misfortunes. Is this fate brought about by the Taisho era, or is someone plotting against her? The dark, bittersweet tale of Yuriko and 5 gorgeous young men is about to unfold. Butterfly's Poison is a censored version of an R18 Otome game. I haven't played it yet, but from what I've heard here and there, it seems people appreciated it a lot. The cut spicy scene should not take away from enjoying the game. It should take about 30 to 30 hours to complete. Chuki is a college student with dreams. 1. To become a scriptwriter like her late mother, and 2. To find their father, whom she's never met. Living alone with no romantic experience whatsoever, Chuki struggles with writing stories about love. But one day, on the hunt for clues for the identity of her father, Chuki learns that he may have been involved in the production of a romantic drama based on a script her mother wrote before she was born. In a stroke of good luck, she lands a job for a new show working with the same director. On its production crew are the sons of the men who work at that very program. Chuki searches for answers as she tries her best at her new job, but as fate would have it, the young men are all vying for her attention and distracting her from her task at hand. Chuki tells herself she is simply pretending and this isn't really love. Or is it? Will Chuki, who knows nothing of real love, be able to write her own story? If you like the fake relationships trope, you have to try this game. It's full of drama, fun, and mysteries. It should take about 50 to 60 hours to complete. The story unfolds on a continent where the number of women has drastically decreased due to an incurable disease known as the rot. A young girl, Nala, lives in the southern country of Dras. Her mother is abducted by the northern country of Nazla, leaving her as an orphan. Her childhood friend Auri, the next king of Ras and someone whom she adores like a brother, supported her through her hardships. Several years after the nightmarish night, Nala was welcomed into the royal family and began to feel at ease in her life as Auri's bride-to-be. However, the nightmare begins again as a decision will have to be made in front of the Nazla army that is kidnapping women. I am playing the Crimson Flower these days and I'm having so much fun with it. I think it's a great title. Of course, the translation is not the best, but if you're okay with an awkward translation, please get this game. This is also another censored version of an R18 Otome game, but here too the cut spicy scenes don't really take away from enjoying the game. It should take about 30 to 40 hours to complete. On the 1st of August, you awaken with no memory of your relationships or your past. A friendly spirit named Orion appears somehow trapped within your consciousness. With his help, you must unravel the mystery of who you are while hiding your amnesia to those seemingly closest to you, or risk oblivion. Can you regain your memories before it's too late? I have played Amnesia so long ago on my phone, almost 10 years ago. Replaying it on Switch is a great feeling. Amnesia is a true classic that everyone should experience. If you're left wanting more, there is a fan disc available. To complete, it should take about 30 to 40 hours. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you and that you can finally pick your next game. If you want me to go more into depth about any of these games, feel free to tell me on the comments below. See you next time!